Okay, so what I'm going to show is some various enhancements we've made to CarrierFinder. I'm going to start off with showing the new NearNet building designation. We loaded it in about 50,000 addresses for charter, which qualify as NearNet under their NearNet program. So I'm going to start off by typing the address. And as we see, it pops up as I start typing, and I press submit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to see is, and by the way, I'm going to talk about some various changes on the system as I go through here. First of all, we see yes, that is Frontier is the telco, but in this case, I want to look at the fact that Charter is the cable co. Another thing I want to point out here, just as a side note, that now we get a map showing what we searched for and what is on the map. And we also plot out where the central office is. And if you click, this one's actually pretty close. But if I zoom in, if I click on it, we'll see the CO address, the CELI code, the NPA, the NXX for it. Of course, we can switch to satellite back to standard map, and this radius is a 1 mile radius. Okay, is what it's showing. If you click this button, it just kind of points that out. Now, another thing that we can do is if you want to look at the address, or if you physically look at it, you can just drag this little guy right down to where you want to put it on. And as here we can see that here's North Main Street, and that's what we looked at. So if you wanted to know what is actually physically there, you can do that. So the next thing I want to do is click on the View Fiber Lit Buildings. And now what it's doing is it's zooming in and it's showing the buildings here. And we see that we do get mostly charter in this area, having the lit buildings. You see a little thumbs up, that means that we found one that's on net. And this little info, okay, pops up now if we happen to have a blog post on it. So in this case, if I click on the blog post, I'll actually come up to a deal on our website that actually explains what the whole charter NearNet program is about. And we have on here showing exactly where those buildings are, mostly in the Midwest. Okay, so another new thing we have back on the tool is when you do a request pricing now, we now validate with USPS. So there we go. And you'll notice it'll say verified, and then it'll have a 4-digit zip that will include with it. And we've got some new intuitive ways of asking about pricing, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Okay, so we get that. Return. Okay. Let's see now, what else do we have that's new? That is mostly what we have. I did want to show one more thing. I just found myself using our tool for something I hadn't really thought about using it for. Recently I received a lit building list from Frontier that had about 600 buildings. That's another new thing we just added in. Now there's 600 buildings of Frontier. And what I found was that they only supplied the street, the city, and the zip. And really to do our import, I needed to or this I'm sorry, the street, the city, and the state. And I really needed the zip code to do a proper install, or to do a proper upload. So what I started thinking about is I wonder if I could use our batch request tool to do simply to do an address validation and to attain the zip code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I did to accomplish that. And I'm just going to bring up a few addresses here to show how that worked, because I thought it was kind of cool. So here's our spreadsheet, and we see a city, state, and a street. So I'm going to just go ahead and take the first bunch of them. There was actually, like I say, there was actually oops. Okay, so I'm gonna there were actually about 600 on it, but I'm gonna just take a small piece of it. So I'm going into batch functions, create a new batch. I'm going to just call it Frontier 2. I paste in the data, and as you can see, I've got the street address, city, and the state, but nothing else. I press submit. And there we go, pasted it in. Now what I found is that I could click on verify addresses, and voila, I translated that into validated addresses right here. Now I could do the scan for carriers and the whole 9 yards, but at this point all I wanted to do was validate the addresses and attain the zip code. So what I did at this point is I simply clicked on export data, open with Excel, and as you can see now I have the data. So I was able to take addresses without a zip code and turn them into addresses with a zip code, and then I imported into the tool. So pretty handy tool. Another kind of cool thing is you can visualize what you just imported. So you can plot that out on a map, take a screenshot, you can switch the type. Again, if you wanted to, as in the other video I showed on how you could actually come down here and actually look at the site, you'd be able to see. Let's do that again. There we go. You could actually get down and look at things. So anyway, pretty handy function there. Okay, I think that's about all I had. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.